Question I get all the time: what is the number one trading setup that I would recommend for a new trader? That's an awesome question, because as a new trader, like, you're faced with so much information out there. Like, there's so many websites out there, there's so many traders out there, so many Discord rooms out there. Like, where the heck do you start? Like, where do you begin? Like, what's an easy day trading setup that you can start with that's like simple and easy to remember and do? And first of all, like, nothing in day trading is easy. Like, it's always a process for everything. But there's a setup that I think that you guys can do that'll be really powerful. In day trading, there's 3 stages to the trading day. You have your open. That's your 9:30 to 10:30. You have your midday. That's 10:30 to 1 p.m. And then you have your close. That's 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Each one of those stages of the trading day requires different trading setups. One of the things that happens with new traders is they get so focused on the open. And don't get me wrong, the open is my favorite time to trade also. But the open, that 9:30 to 10:30, is the toughest time to trade, because it's about price discovery and price volatility. You get stocks that go nuts to the up and down at the open, but you also get a lot of shakeouts. But what happens is, after that first hour, trends will set and you can find a clear picture of what's going to happen next. So my favorite day trading setup that I like to teach my students in my 60-day boot camp are V-wap bounces. A V-wap bounce is a simple setup that happens after the open. So what you're looking for in a V-wap bounce play is, number one, you're looking for a trending stock, something with a lot of momentum. You're looking for a stock that can move up at least 4 or 5% a day minimum. The more heat it's got, the more powerful the V-wap bounces are going to go. The third part of this is you're looking for stocks that have a lot of liquidity, meaning you need a lot of volume to be able to get in and out of these, even when you're trading a smaller account. I recommend personally at least 5 million shares a day traded on these stocks to try this V-wap bounce setup. Beyond that, the V-wap bounce setup works very, very well when you have stocks with high relative volume. And what I mean by high relative volumes, if you're doing, say, 1 million shares a day, now it's going to 2 million. It's going to 5 million, 10 million. So that's high on a relative basis. If you were doing 1 million shares a day and you were at 10 million shares in volume the next day, right, you have a 10x in relative volume, or what they would call RVol. So let's take a look at Friday. We did some V-wap bounce trades on these Chinese stocks that worked picture perfectly. So there's a handful of things to notice on these charts. So if you look at a chart on BABA, first of all, BABA is a very oversold stock that recently had news. Stocks that have some type of PR news out, they work much better than just your regular old technical analysis play, because they have some type of fundamental driving it. So you add in BABA, PDD, Billy, IQ, Huya. This is a sector of stocks that had some news out, and so the volume was really, really pouring into them. And beyond that, because the charts were so beat up, you had the opportunity for some really, really powerful moves. So if you look at the chart of BABA, you know, this stock goes from red to green in the morning around $100 and makes a straight shot to 107. Now, as this stock leaves the open, you can see that it's got a really, really orderly pullback into the VWAP area as you start getting into the lunch period. So what starts to happen is, like, you start to marinate right around that VWAP area, and as you come out of lunch, you'll get a secondary run in these charts. So what I like to do is, when I see the VWAP area hold, I'll put a stop loss right up under it, and now I'm playing this thing back into the high of day. I'll sell off half, and then I'll trail up the 9 EMA for the rest of it. If you look at this chart of Billy, what you'll see is something that's very, very similar. You get that big run in the open, and then you pull back into the VWAP. Now, if you notice on Billy, it actually breaks a little bit under the VWAP, and then it remounts back over. That's why it's really important to let it hold there for a couple minutes before you take the trades. Oftentimes you will see a rip under and then a rip back over. Now take a look at IQ, DD, all the same setups. If you look at IQ, like this stock goes from into the mid threes in the morning, pulls right back into the VWAP after that first push. You get a green candle to hold there, and now it rips right back. That is like your picture perfect VWAP trade. I love this setup because it's a little bit slower that time of day. You have less shakeouts, but frankly, like it's just easy on the eyes. It's something that you guys can put a checklist to, look for trends, look for news, look for expanding volume, morning push, pull back into the VWAP, let it hold, and then now you've got ranges to trade around. You can sell some into the high of day, which is what I usually do, and then I'll trail up the rest along the way.